All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for joining. I'm excited about this. You got a great group of guys you're about to hear from. Really, the point of this webinar is to really just hear real stories from guys who are working the business, doing different things. We all have different personalities, different circumstances that we're in, but I thought it'd be cool for y'all to hear and maybe just get some ideas of things that you can do different or better or whatever. It's not to compare yourself with these guys. Really, if Susan, if she was comparing me to some of you guys, she'd be she'd be disappointed. So I don't want anybody else, on this call, don't say like, oh man, I could never do that. Just listen for some ideas that maybe you can implement, even if it's just one. So that's kind of the idea here. For the consultants out there, especially you ladies, who may not have a husband who's real gung-ho about LuLaRoe. Maybe he's skeptical or a little frustrated by it. It is a big commitment for for a family, for both of you. I would just say you can still be successful without that support. It's going to be harder for you, but you can do it. There's lots of examples of that out there of women, single women or women who just don't have that support. So don't get discouraged by that. If you do want to get your man involved, what I would say is just work really hard, make good money, be positive about your business, and don't nag him or like I said, compare him to others. Just have a lot of success and invite him to be a part of what you're doing in whatever way he can. Okay. So that's about all I wanted to say, and I'm just gonna turn it over to the guys here. They're gonna introduce themselves and tell their stories, and at the end, hopefully we'll have some question and answer time. So Frank, take it away, man.
Sure. Hi, my name is Frank Adamkevich, and I'm here in Wilson, North Carolina. Actually, our LuLaRoe journey began in September of 2014. Susan actually came all the way from Raleigh to Wilson and did one of her first pop-ups at her house here in Wilson, and which was very successful. And so after she packed up, I said to my wife, Elaine, you can do this, you can do this. And she said, oh no, I can never do that, I never do that. So we put it on the back burner, didn't think about it. Come February of 2015, Susan came again to do the second pop-up. And after she got done with the second pop-up, I said, Elaine, you could do this. And it just happened that after she had done that pop-up, the next 2 or 3 days we had, snow or ice or whatever we have here in North Carolina, because I'm from New Jersey. And we had those snow days, and we started thinking and talking, and it's like, I can do this. And so we called and we signed up, and a couple of days later, the boxes were on our porch, and we started. And it's been a great journey since then. I've always been her biggest supporter, saying you can do this, we can do this as a family, and it's become a family business actually. Our family is totally involved. Our kids know the styles. They can point out the styles. They can go get a style. And then when Elaine has in-home pop-ups here in town or even close to town, we just go as a family. We all unpack. So we bring in the racks. All the kids have a job to do. Someone does the maxis. Someone does the leggings. Everybody carries things in. And so the whole family goes and unpacks for a pop-up. And so everybody gets involved. With it, so the kids can see the benefits of it and how it's blessing not only us but others as well. But just some helpful hints, I guess, to share. Something we've learned along the way, or some things that I do to help Elaine in the business. I actually know all the styles. I go on lots of the calls, watch the videos, just learn myself. If a pop-up gets busy, or if we have an open house here, and I'm around, I'll ask somebody if they need help. I'll put outfits together. I'll style leggings with an Irma, and sometimes they're shocked that I can do that. Also, I also do the back office, like a lot of the end of the month reports. I put into I just use a Google Doc just to put all the what we sell and what we buy and mileage and expenses and things like that. And I take care of all that back office stuff and get it all organized when we go to do taxes. Sometimes, like we open houses, I'll check people out. Just knowing how to work that system is a great help to her, so she can actually spend time with her customers and just share with them the style and the love for the clothes. I also am on all of our group pages, and just respond when I need to. If she's busy or she's at a pop-up and someone needs something, I can respond or get a text or just help her team out or help our team out. And then last, just joining different Facebook groups just to see what's going on, to help others, but also just to be the biggest cheerleader for my wife and just to listen. There's a problem. Usually, I'm the first one she comes to. We both complain to each other, and then we're over it and we move on. And just being that support for her has been just great. Just doing the family business together. She just started this. We're both teachers by profession, and this year we've been in it since March of 2015 is when we started, when we signed up. And just this year, she was able to stay home. And because of that, too, we're able to homeschool our children as well. This is the first year, and that's been going awesome with them as well. So it's just been a blessing just to do that. And then also, too, I want to just encourage your husbands, whenever there's a training like an Inspire Tour or convention or a Super Saturday, just go and just participate and learn. One of I think the best things that we did together is I went to convention this year with Elaine, and it was just great just to meet other guys, just to go through some of the sessions and just to learn. But not only learn about the product, but to learn about the culture of LuLaRoe. Just meeting and visiting with Mark and Deanne and seeing them and other part of the LuLaRoe family and the home office people. It's just great just to learn from them, to know them, to see how they operate and see how just genuinely they're here to help us in our business, and they just want all of us to be successful. And so just being able to just go to those trainings and just learn and just be able to help and put it back into the business. And so so that's kind of my story.
Sounds good. Thank you, Frank. My name is Josh Baker. I am from Chesapeake, Virginia. My wife and I started LuLaRoe back in November of last year. We made our investment back in 1 month. We hit trainer 2 months in. So initially, we did not consider growing a team. That's the last option that we had even thought about. We consider just, doing it to get sushi on Saturday night and not think about it. Let my daughter join gymnastics once a week, not have to worry about the bills or anything. And slowly but surely, we had girls coming to us saying, we follow you, we love you. We really, we watch everything you do. I think it's something that we could do too. So we organically ended up growing a team. We've got about 185 girls now, I think, on the team. I've got about 25 directs somewhere in there. So it started to become a little bit of an on-taking. I didn't realize that owning a small business was going to be this much of an on-taking, but it was because it was such a success. We were literally, pop-ups were at 3 times a week. We were doing it on the weekends. It really became something that we said we can live financially and completely free ourselves from this. I decided in March of this year to leave my full-time job because my wife works at a children's hospital in the area. She has got a lot of time involved. She actually opened up a donor breast milk bank there. So leaving the hospital for her was not an option. My job was a little bit flexible that I could leave. I left and went full-time. When I did, I noticed that our sales started really, really increasing weekly because I was able to post the outfits of the day. I was able to do more pop-ups. So saying that you don't have to go full-time as a LuLaBro. I've learned over the last 6 or 7 months, being a LuLaBro means that if your wife goes out and she has a pop-up, you don't mind and you're not complaining when you stay at home and you watch the kids. It means night before, you're helping her pack up that inventory and get it to the truck. So when she gets there by herself, all she has to do is unpack the truck once. It means that if you have the ability, you're going to those pop-ups, you're learning these styles. Guys, you're running a small business now, you've invested in a small business. I really want you to think about that and realize that with 2 people running it, it's going to run so much smoother. You're going to be able to accomplish so much more. I've talked to numerous guys who have said, you know, in the beginning, I wish that I was more on board, because now I almost feel guilty because I realize how much this is going to help our family. This is going to really benefit my, you know, our livelihood. And if I would have just been in it so much earlier, it would have already happened. Like I said, we didn't plan on, I've never been in direct sales before in my life. I was a rough and tough. I drove a work van. I was a pipe fitter. I was, you know, I worked my 6 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That was my job. Always had a little bit of a passion, you know, for fashion. Now it's funny because I get tagged on different Facebook pages asking about, you know, will these shoes match this? And my guys always, you know, my old guy friends, they give me slack about it all the time. And they say, you know, you're selling women's clothes for a living, guy. And I'm like, yeah, but when I call you at 12 o'clock and I'm at my house and I've already made more than what you've made for the day and I'm still in my pajamas, how angry can I be? You know, I mean, and it's so true. A lot of people say it's cliche that the more you get into LuLaRoe, you're going to learn about the LuLaRoe culture. The LuLaRoe culture is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I'm hanging out with guys and girls now that I never would have thought in my life I would have associated with. I've always had a really tight niche group of friends. The more and more that we put ourselves out there and I make myself vulnerable, the more I learn about myself, the more that I'm learning about other people and how much we really do have in common. I guess I can't say enough about the company. From Sam's call that Brooks and Susan were able to put on earlier to just this call, this company has your back 155%. Don't ever doubt that. Know that just about anybody on this page you can send a message to, myself including, you will get an answer to. Everybody's here to support everybody else. You're not in competition with your neighbor. It's a very rewarding feeling being able to help people. The more that you do that, the better you're going to feel. If there's anything that you guys need as a LuLaBro, you let me know. I will be quick to respond. I'm sure all of these guys will. There's a lot that you can be doing to help this company, help your wife's company. Realize that you guys are in this together. The more that you're involved, the more you're going to see out of it. With that being said, I think I'll pass it on.
Thanks, Josh. So my name is Chris. I'm husband to Allison Bingham in Raleigh, North Carolina. We've been doing it since December of last year, so just about a year. In the beginning, you know, we didn't really know what we were getting into. My wife started for 2 reasons. One, her sister was moving to California, and it was something they wanted to do together. And at the same time, we've been planning an adoption for quite a while, just trying to figure out how we were going to fund the adoption. And so that became, you know, in the LuLaRoe culture, they talk a lot about the people's why, and in particular, Allison's why is fundraising for the adoption. We have a little bit more to our story. We have a daughter that has a genetic disorder, and that is likely, if we had other children, to occur again. We do have a son that was sort of an accident. There's a lot more to that story. Yeah, so suffice it to say that having children naturally is sort of dangerous for us. So we believe that adoption is our path, and this became our mechanism that we viewed as a tool to fundraise for that. Now, when she kind of came up with the idea, I thought, oh, cute, we'll make the money we need, and you know, I'll support, I'll take care of the kids and do those kind of things while she goes and does whatever she needs to do to make the money, and we'll go about our way and be done with it. Yeah, then it kind of after the first month or two, I would say I started seeing it as just a time stealer for the time that Allison and I used to spend together in evenings or on weekends or things like that. I was suddenly single dadding it while she was at a pop-up, or she was in running an online sale while I was watching TV or something like that. So then I went to convention over the summer. And I would say that's kind of where everything changed for me. Not so much the content at convention, but being there with Allison with sort of a common mission and a common goal and a common vision. And certainly, of course, hearing stories and learning about what people are making and how they're doing it, and seeing myself in being able to support Allison to those types of outcomes was a big thing for me. So since then, I would say that, it's a complete 180. There's definitely no sitting on the couch watching TV for me while she's in running an online sale. In fact, it might be the opposite if she's had a long day of LuLaRoe herself and needs a break. So I kind of have some internal things that have become important to me, and I would say that they've developed my own why out of that. So personally, I have developed, I've tried to sort of study, this kind of sounds a little corny, but I've tried to study Allison's voice, not necessarily the sound, but more how she sounds when she responds to people, so that I can believe her, so that I can be her. This business is about her to me. This business isn't about us. I don't want it to necessarily be about us. I want to support her. For our marriage has been about her supporting me in my career. And I see that as a complete reversal at this point. And that's become my why, is supporting her and teaching other men that it's okay to take a back seat, and to be supportive in whatever way that is. And I will say that I think there's sort of a common misconception, cliche, if you will, that it's all about kind of doing the strength-related things, the physical strength-related things, setting up for the pop-up or loading the car, which are all important things. But I think it's so much more than that. And for me, it's about knowing what my wife's weaknesses are, knowing what my wife doesn't like to do, and supporting her by trying to do those things. So she doesn't like booking pop-ups. So I've become the pop-up booker. I send emails from her. I send Facebook messages from her to people, but it's me booking pop-ups because I like doing it. And ultimately, I think at the end of the day, it's all about encouragement and motivating her, which I would say are two different things. Motivation is a little bit more harsh, maybe has a little bit more gas behind it than encouraging. But she needs both at times. And I think with both, the sky's the limit with this business. And I've seen that. And I'm so excited to see kind of where this takes us now that I've been able to kind of get in and get behind her in the way that we are. So I'll stop there and let Mike talk.
Hey, before you stop, tell your story about, at Inspire booking the pop-ups. Since you mentioned that.
Yeah, so they had a contest at Inspire events, basically, where you try to be the one to book the most pop-ups, and they tally the pop-ups throughout the event, and they're playing fun music and all that kind of stuff, and playing, just kind of feels competitive. So I actually didn't book them all in the time frame. I didn't get enough responses in the time frame that we were getting rewarded with free leggings and whatnot. But I did end up booking 18 pop-ups in about an hour.
Yeah.
At Inspire, so it was fun, and I think that sort of has ignited me, and again, just sort of seeing where my strengths can play into that, sort of using various tools, negotiating, if you will, or whatnot to make that happen.
Another reason, guys, get out to these Inspire tours, convention tours. It's not just for your lady. There's something that can be taken away for you guys too at these events.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Mike, take it away.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Mike Galoon. Amber Galoon is my wife. We are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we've been doing LuLaRoe since May of 2015. And I've been doing LuLaRoe full time with her since April of 2016 of this year. So, yeah, it's been quite a ride, quite an experience. I can say, like, initially I was pretty skeptical of it and pretty not so much. I know Josh had mentioned something about guys kicking themselves that they weren't fully on board at first, and I was one of those guys, I'll admit it. It took me a while to really get on board with things. The thing that really, I think, kind of gave me that kick in the rear end is very beginning of this year, actually in January, my wife hosted a Super Saturday here in Milwaukee. And I was like, oh, Super Saturday, what's that? You know, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know, we're putting all this work into this thing. But it was so awesome, and it was so amazing to see, like, all that work that she put in and that I also helped her with to kind of come to fruition. And I got to meet Sue and Brooks at that point in time, and they're awesome people, as you all know. But I really, seeing that really inspired me, and that's kind of when we came up with the goal that, like, we want to do this full time, like, together. We made a goal, like, by that spring, I was going to quit my job. We were going to do LuLaRoe together full time, make it our full business. And so I was able to do that in April, and that was, that was super awesome. To be able to, not go into a job that I hate anymore and get to do this. And some things that I know have also been really helpful for me is thinking about this as a business. I know they talk about it a lot. You have to treat this like a business. It's true. It's not just some little side thing that, your significant other is doing. It's not just, a little extra thing. This can blow up. This can turn into a huge thing for you. If you're willing to put in the time, you're willing to put in the effort, you're willing to, spend those long hours at night, helping out with, pulling orders, taking inventory, all that sort of stuff. It pays off for sure. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to learn don't be afraid to learn the styles, learn what everything is, learn, the difference between an Amelia and a Nicole and all that sort of stuff. That was something I was super apprehensive about at first too. I'm like, oh, all these women's clothes, I'm not, this isn't really my thing. But, now it's definitely something that I know front to back, and I can put stuff together. I can match stuff. I can tell you what heathered means, all that sort of stuff. Amber and I joke about it. Business partners, you're making this investment as a family. It's not just, at least in our situation, this was a big chunk of change for us. This was something that we had to take seriously, for sure. And in doing that, we had to look at each other as business partners, as, people that are going to play to each other's strengths and work with one another and figure out the things that, like Frank said, or like Chris had said, doing the things that your wife maybe doesn't like to do, taking on some of the things that, are your strengths. And yeah, it isn't just, hauling stuff to your van or to your truck and taking it back in at the end of the night. It's, it might be helping with online sales. Some of the things that I do, because my wife has to devote quite a bit of time to team stuff these days. And also kind of being the face of the business. I call her the social media guru. She's the one that does all the Instagram. She does all the, Facebook hyping up for sales and things like that. And I do a lot of the back end work. I do a lot of, I'll do like the sale prep for online sales, tracking expenses. I'm the one that's always hounding her for receipts and stuff. And, she kind of, she doesn't always like when I'm doing that, but that's my thing. I like to be meticulous about that sort of stuff. Pulling stuff after online sales, packing it up, getting it shipped out, all the inventory management, and then customer service. I also do answer her emails for her when it comes to, customers have questions about their orders, or maybe there's a damage or a return or something like that. I tend to handle that stuff as well. Another thing, which I would say this is probably the biggest blessing that LuLaRoe has given to us, is being home as much as I am now. I get to spend a ton more time with our kids. We have 5 kids, ages 6, 5, 4, 2, and 1 month. So school. So that's another thing that I think without LuLaRoe, that would be something we definitely, I don't think we'd be able to be doing that without LuLaRoe. So yeah, I get to spend a whole lot more time with my kids. I get to be involved in their education. I'm the Irish dance dad. I am the violin dad. It's awesome. I love it. And, without LuLaRoe, it would totally not be possible. And without me getting on board and getting myself into gear, it would not be possible. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say.
It's awesome. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
For you guys who made a decision to do LuLaRoe full time, before we get into the question and answer from the viewers, like, how did you go through that decision-making process? Did you have like a goal to grow your business to a certain point, and then you could do that, or just kind of talk about how you went through that decision? Josh, Mike. Yeah.
All right, you want to go? You want me to go?
Oh, go ahead.
I started looking at it, and we knew that with the amount of time that we could put into it, we were going to reach a certain plateau. And the more time that we were able to put towards it, the more we were going to be able to excel. I think we had a turning point at one point where we always set a goal for ourselves. When we went to a party, we want to sell X amount of items, and I want to make it to X amount of dollars, so it's worth my time for coming out. We set that goal really, really higher, because of course with LuLaRoe, they always tell you set your goals way higher than what you normally would. We set our goal, and it was more than what my paycheck was for a week. We started making that goal continuously at every pop-up, and it got to the point where my wife looked at me and said, we're doing in a weekend more than what your paycheck is coming in. Why are you still working when you can come home? We can utilize you throughout the week to put more towards the business. The more that you put through, the more that we're going to make. And it was pretty much a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, with us, it was, it was right after that Super Saturday in January, and then we had a huge sale right after that in February. And Amber always makes the joke that we had it on Facebook, and it gives you those little notifications when people make comments on stuff, and like it was just ding, 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 and I told her, I love that ding, because every time I hear it, that's money in the bank. So, but yeah, our goal was, once Amber was like basically like in line to get coach, that's when we were gonna, and it actually didn't happen as soon as I quit my job, but it was kind of in the works, or she was on her way there. But part of it too is also kind of like what you said. We decided, or I decided, we were at a point where the time that I was spending at my job, those 8 hours or 9 hours a day, would have been much more valuable spent doing LuLaRoe stuff. It was kind of a cost benefit analysis, generally, just to kind of, see this is where my time is going to be best spent. And yeah, then we set a goal and we went for it, and couldn't have been better.
I think that my kids also played a pretty big factor in it in the long run. I mean, I grew up single mom, 3 kids, so dad really wasn't in the picture a whole lot. I always said to myself I was going to change that growing up. That was going to be the one thing that my kids were going to know. They were going to have fond memories, of their father. So being able to stay at home with my kids, I knew that I was taking whatever cost I was paying at the time for daycare and everything, I would be retracting back into my account anyway, because I'd be home with them. I mean, but even now there's no better feeling in the morning when I get my daughter up and I walk her to the bus stop and I get her on the bus, and every morning we've got this thing. I tell her, go out and change the world, change somebody's day, be a day maker. And she's now repeating that back to me, knowing that I'm implementing that in her head. She's doing that is worth 3 or 4 paychecks in itself to me.
That's good.
All right, cool. So let's get to some of these questions. Josh, you took one, didn't you?
I wanted
I got somebody cutting in. I've got, can husbands sell items just like the wife, the legal consultant, without the wife being present? And as far as from what I've been told, yes, 100%. If you are in a marriage, if you are in a relationship, you are a partner within the business. I do probably 99% of our live sales on our live page. She's never present in those. I just did a pop-up by myself last Friday and Saturday. It's all still LuLaRoe Ashlyn Baker. It's all still through her. I'm just the husband, and I'm representing her. So 100%, get yourself out there, be creative, make a mark for yourself. Believe it or not, guys, girls will buy from guys. They are not scared to. When they hear that you like that pattern on them, it stirs something up in them. I mean, you can move the product. I think it was Mike talking earlier about actually learning the styles. I learned the difference between a perfect tee and a classic tee by telling myself that when I saw the perfect, it was perfect. I ripped the side of the shirt because it has the slits in the side. That's how I became accustomed. And I slowly, just learn the styles. But yeah, 100% go out and sell the product. Move it for your wife. Make her happy. She'd love it.
And I was impressed. Josh posted a picture from a 4th floor pop-up that he did, and he sold 60 items. So congratulations, man. That's awesome. It's inspiring, actually. So, all right. So what's your strategy for successfully booking pop-ups? I'm gonna let somebody else take that. Chris, maybe you can take that one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think booking pop-up is about sales, and it's sort of using traditional sales techniques. And Josh referenced earlier, sort of collecting unicorns. I think that's in the particular case of booking 18 in an hour. It was about utilizing holiday leggings to do that, which wasn't my idea or anything like that. It was just something that I executed on. And in particular, that one, we had posted various sort of "it's coming" or "hey, here's some teaser pics" or things like that. And there were several people that liked them, and so I researched who liked them. Who liked those pictures or us talking about the holiday leggings. And then I investigated to see who was local, and anyone that was local that liked an image or commented on an image related to holiday leggings, I sent them a Facebook message. And, again, it took about an hour to get them all to come back in, but within an hour, 18 people had said yes. So we probably only had, 27 likes for all the images or whatnot, but, they were liked enough that people were all over it. So,
see, you don't give yourself enough credit, because that was genius to go back and look at that post to see who liked it, man. I would have never thought of that. So,
and I think also, too, they mentioned at all of the trainings is the 72-hour game plan. Be going through your phone, going through your contacts, the people you know, the people you have with your kids, all your kids' activities, just reaching out to them and just making those contacts. You can spend an hour just liking pictures on Instagram, or you can spend an hour contacting 50 people, and maybe 10 of them will book a pop-up. I mean, so it's just how you spend your time and what you do with your time, you can have those results. So.
I agree. I'm definitely a believer in the 72-hour game plan and sort of the power around that. Like we're going to Kansas for Christmas, where my family lives, and no trip or no sort of visit for us is sort of removed with LuLaRoe. So we have 3 pop-ups in Kansas in relation to various sort of family connections that we have there. So utilizing that time and sort of new blood, if you will, in that capacity. So I see everything as an opportunity, and it's a 72-hour game plan that I go to kind of think about and use. Also, we have, past customer lists. So you can get a report of where customers are located and that sort of thing. I use that to, if we're going someplace, to try to book something, or kind of, not make one trip to Charlotte, which is 3 hours away, for one pop-up, but try to build a list of others that might be interested around that same area.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the longevity of these products, and have you seen LuLaRoe keep up with changing trends?
Hello, have you seen the Elegance collection?
Amen. Have you seen the cards? Have you seen, they are so far ahead of stuff.
Wow.
Go pick up last month's Saks Fifth Avenue magazine, the Saks magazine that's got our Jill in there for about $2,800. I mean, guys, when it comes to trends and stuff like that, have faith in Patrick. That man is a genius. He knows his stuff.
The Jill in Anthropology is $169.
There you go.
So you got to look and see what's there, and he's already done it.
Yeah. Something else was the Carly that came out. Everyone went crazy over that. I think that was a really good example of like a new thing. And
also too, I think it's neat that you can tell your customers that they might be getting a one-of-a-kind piece in your area because of the limited quantity of all of the patterns. And so that's just so unique about a company that's growing so rapidly, but yet their patterns and the patterns are staying so small still. And that's, especially with 55, 60,000 consultants, and they make 5,000 to 6,000 of each pattern. That's, you're not going to get anything. We constantly visit some of our girls, and we go into their Lula rooms, and we haven't seen most of what they have. So it's just so cool to see that, so unique.
And be patient. There's always going to be possible new styles in the pipeline that are going to be coming out. So, don't think that right now LuLaRoe is limited to the styles that they have with just changing the prints up. Just like they came out with the Carly, I guarantee you there's going to be more where that came from.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I think that there's, definitely frustrations and, challenges and things like that. You get a bad box, you get duplicates and things like that. But every time I've ever been skeptical or frustrated about something, it always seems to work itself out. That's just keep the faith.
I can say we've been in the business almost 2 years in March, and we've never sent any item back that we didn't like, and we've never sold anything on a buy, sell, trade page, because everything that we have always sells.
Yeah. What they say, everything sells, and it's true. It's just finding the right person.
That's right.
That pattern that you may not like might speak to somebody.
Yeah. So this question, not getting our inventory, the problems with the Elegant, this is unusual, right? The slow shipping times.
Extreme. There's been a capsule launch. If you've been with the company a while, when the capsule launches come out, everything gets a little gets a little hairy. On top of it, we're implementing millions of dollars of these shipping protocols and this software that's going to catch us up and make us so much smoother. We're only 3 years old, guys. I want everybody to always remember that this company is still very young. I think I have no problem. I know that I've got orders that are still going to be coming, but all my new customers that have never seen my inventory, that have no clue what I have, they have no clue what I don't have. Therefore, I can sell them what I do have.
And also, too, I think it's, and some of the husbands get a little bit, I guess, I would say annoyed because maybe a box didn't come in or something's back ordered. There's not something in the box. But I can guarantee you, just being with the company for almost 2 years, and they will always, always make it right. They will always make it right. They're here to support you. They're here to do anything they can to help you. And even if it takes a little while, they're always going to make it right.
Yeah, and we've seen things get better and better over time too. We just have to give them some time to implement the things that they need to get there.
I mean, kind of a perspective that I have, and it definitely don't always. I'm king emotion. I get extremely frustrated. Brooks can, probably attest to that. He's received a few kind of blazing texts from me or whatnot. Talk not necessarily directed at Brooks, but at the company. And part of that comes from the fact that I own my own business that is 9 years old and is a fledgling of what LuLaRoe's been able to accomplish. And at the same time, the reason that LuLaRoe is able to do that is because the reason that you have late shipments is not because you have lazy employees who didn't show up to work. No, it's because their systems are overloaded because people are trying to buy things that your wife or whoever in your life is getting so that she can sell it and make thousands of dollars doing it. So, when something like Halloween or holiday leggings or elegant collection kind of collapses the system, it's because everyone's so excited about it, because their customers are so excited about it, because they're ready to spend thousands of dollars buying it. So, there are hardships. It's, I constantly am telling people at my own company that, money's not free, right? We have to do something to work for it. There has to be some pain associated with the process. And that is the pains right now, is sort of dealing with the growing pains, but it also means that we're in on the ground floor of a young company that is just booming. So like no other company in history, at the scale as rapid as they're growing right now. So
yeah, and so Chris and Allison, they're not getting their orders in. This week was their year anniversary. They had planned a big open house party to celebrate that. And I think kind of, it was frustrating to not get all the stuff they had planned to have, right? So, but that was a hurdle, and you had a really successful party. You moved a lot of clothes that had been there for a while.
Yeah.
So, you just keep moving, sell what you have. I think that's the way you get over the hurdle, right?
Someone just commented in the chat section about that how do you sell? They say everything sells, but how do you sell the pieces, like if you've had them for a long time, or some items that are not selling? Wear them. Put them on and wear them. Take a picture with them and post a picture, and someone's going to say, "Oh, I want that outfit." It happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly right.
Wear it in a pop-up with the tags on it. My wife has sold, I don't know how many things off of her body at a pop-up. Hold on, I'll change the skirt. You can have this one.
Yep.
So, and then just think as a retailer, if they, Julia's aren't moving, well, put them under a Lola skirt. Put it under a Madison skirt. Wear it as a top. And so to show them the versatility of the pieces and how they can style it and how they can wear it. Size up in a Julia. We had a hard time selling Julias. Size up 1 or 2 sizes, tie a knot in it, put a belt on it, do something that's gonna change the style of it. And they're like, oh, I didn't think about it. So it's just styling it and using it and showing them different ways to do it. So
yeah, and the other thing is that in person. Like if you're normally selling online, book some pop-ups. You get your stuff in front of people that have never seen it before, and that's how you sell stuff. You just get as many new eyes on it as you can.
Yeah, that balance is huge. Going in person to online and back and forth, because I feel like each one kind of feeds into the other. Like we have stuff that we sell online that, like, a lot of our like unicorn leggings and stuff like that, they sell online, but like in home, people don't even look at them. They're into all the a lot of the dresses and skirts and things is what sells it in homes. And it just kind of feeds in, and then we have some good sales online, and that that inspires people to want to host with us so they can see all the clothes in person and touch them and feel them and all that. So that balance is a huge thing.
And then you have to also do what works best for your family. I know, like for Elaine and I, we don't do any online sales. I mean, all of our sales are in home. So we with our family, when we first started, we just know every Tuesday and Thursday we have a pop-up. Every Tuesday and Thursday. The kids know, we know it's our schedule. We have a pop-up, and occasionally maybe a Friday or Saturday somewhere down the road, but not a lot of those. So that's just what works for our family. And it just depends what works for your best for your family is what how you need to run your business. And so it's just everybody does it their own way. So I think it's what's the uniqueness about the company.
All right. How do you get past the awkwardness for selling while you're assisting in a pop-up?
My wife used to call me the creepy guy.
For that.
Yeah, my wife would call me the creepy guy in the corner. I've not missed a pop-up since we started. I would unpack, and then I would sit in the corner, and I would get a drink, and I'd kind of just watch everybody. So I was a creepy guy in the corner. I think the way to get over that is learn the styles. I mean, be confident in yourself. When you go to these parties, realize that these girls are going to look at you as you're a fashion consultant. Fake it till you make it. Learn these styles, put some outfits together beforehand, and go to those outfits every time. The more that you get comfortable with yourself around the clothes, and the more knowledgeable you are, I think, with the outfits, then you're going to push them. If that's not your forte, and utilize your other talents, then maybe you're really good at building boxes for the leggings to go into so they display well at the pop-up. Just find your talent.
All right. What are some practical ways for me to help with this within my sphere of influence at work, etc.?
First of all, have some of your wife's business cards always in your wallet. And don't be afraid to give them out. I mean, I can pull out my wallet here, and I have 4 to 5 business cards here in my wallet. Yep. There.
Nice.
Also, too, if you see somebody in the store or like my job at work, I'm like, oh, I love that Randy. Oh, I love that Lola. Oh, I love that Carly.
Yeah, a guy pointing out LuLaRoe on a girl, you're not hitting on them. They're going to know, wow, you know what I'm wearing. Why do you know about LuLaRoe? And that's when you can get into, hey, do you have a consultant that you buy from? Don't just hand them the card and say, here, my wife sells LuLaRoe. Please come buy from me. That's as you get deeper in the company, you learn. But just, you knowing about it can spark that conversation that you could possibly present that business card to her in a manner that she will come and shop with you, or contact your wife and say, your husband's really awesome. He recognized my Randy at the store. How do I shop from you?
Okay, what have you found to be
also too, like, a lot of them women, well, my husband doesn't know what to get me for Christmas. My wife, has a clothing business. She loves, she sells gift cards. She would love to, you can have your husband contact me. We'll get you a gift card and she can come shop.
Yep.
What have you found to be the best way to close potential consultants on joining your downline?
Brooks, I think you should answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really closing. I think it's just being honest and telling your story, telling how it's changed your life. What?
Talk about your story in the corporate world.
Yeah. She's giving me pointers. But yeah, I mean, I think it's especially like Susan and I have good success together. We both have different perspectives on things, and I think when we join together to meet with prospects, it works out really good for us. I could talk about numbers and risk, and Susan can talk about the clothes and how rewarding it is when you get to help a lady feel beautiful. So what else? What do you guys think?
That's kind of something that we've learned too as a partnership. We're learning now that our team knows that they can either come to myself or they can come to Ashland. It almost gives them two sponsors that they can go to. I'm not really trying to sell or close like this is a car deal. I don't want a family to jump into this business unless they are fully ready to take on this business. I don't want someone to invest the money unless they're fully dedicated to this. Because in the same run, you don't want that girl 4 or 5 months down the road clogging your messages because she's not making sales, because she's not doing what you told her to do. So you really, choose wisely when you're building a team, I think is smart. Not everybody is going to be the ultimate partner for you. You may have somebody that can take her on, and I mean, they're not dollar signs. They are people. This is a business that they're getting their family into.
Yeah, I treat booking pop-ups like a sell, but not building a team like a sell. That's completely different. And like you said, I want them to not. I mean, there are no consequences of a pop-up kind of that you hosted that didn't go right, but there are definitely consequences of putting down thousands of dollars and then getting cold feet.
Yeah.
I
found with us a lot of that. I mean, we don't have like a sales pitch or it's not like closing a deal or anything. A lot of it just kind of happens organically. We have a good sale, or we have a lot of our first downlines was just and that was when LuLaRoe was still not as massively huge as it is today. But it was just, having some successful sales, and, some people just reached out to us and they were like, I see you're doing pretty well, how can I get in on this? And my wife has had a lot of good conversations with people, like hostesses for pop-ups and things like that, where, it just kind of came naturally into the conversation, and, they were interested, and, it all just kind of went from there. So yeah, it's definitely not like, we're not pushy. We're not, like, we don't have a 12-point presentation with whiteboards and things that we, at least, I mean, we could have that if somebody wanted it, but, it's more, it's more a conversation, and, just happens organically.
And also too, we've had like inviting them over to our house, sit at the dining room table, bring your husband with you if he wants to come. And just talking with them about the business, answering questions, or why do they want to do it? What's some of your goals that you have that you want to do this for? Do you dreaming big, or you dreaming small? What do you want to have? And also too, just making yourself available to answer those questions. Especially to the husbands. Give him my phone number, let him call me, let him text me if he has any questions. Just to help them along as well. So.
All right, how do you guys manage your inventory, decide which styles to bring on, and how to fully stock a given style?
Depends on the season, I think, a little bit. Where do you live? If you're in a colder area, of course, you're going to want to bring those Sarahs and maybe your Annas and some of the the more fabric-y pieces in a little bit later. You're not going to carry as many Azures, I wouldn't think, unless you're pairing Azures with leggings. You really learn your style. You learn your group. You learn your shoppers and what they want. And, you phase things in and phase things out. It's a balance that you'll find over time. I don't think it's an exact science by any means.
And I think it's important too, and LuLaRoe will tell you this, that you have to when you first start, you build your inventory deep instead of wide. So what that means is that, if you started with your styles, you want to grow those styles. Like I know for us, since we do a lot of in-homes, we have our styles, especially our shirts, we have between 13 to 16 of every size in all of those styles. So that when someone goes to the rack, instead of having to pick from 2 different choices because you only have 2 of one size, they have 13. So now they might buy 2 instead of just look at 2. And then what we did, like when we were adding a style at the beginning, we would buy 2 or 3 of every size of a certain style, like Amelia's. Every order we would place, we would buy maybe 2 smalls, 2 medium, 2 larges. The next order we would buy maybe 2 extra smalls and 2 extra, 2 whatever. So we would build it up. And for us, we would release the new style once we had like 5 to 6, like especially dresses, 5 to 6 or 7 of each size. we would release it at our open houses to like our customers like our loyal customers. And so they knew that they were coming to something and they were the first ones to see it. So it built some excitement for our open houses. And so that helped them to be excited about and buy that new style.
Yeah, that works really well for us too, to launch styles and hype it up, like as much as you can. And Susan likes to, phase them out, like Josh was saying, and then bring them back like in the spring and stuff like that and make a big deal about it. So yeah.
We put some of our styles away and people ask and we say, oh, they're in hibernation. We'll be back in the spring, so.
Few questions about beards on there.
I have to be perfect.
All right, let's see if we can get through some of these quicker, man. They're piling up.
No coincidence that beards equals the two guys that stay home.
Yeah.
Once I quit.
They have more time to groom.
All right. The in-person pop-ups in a town of less than 8,000, you've got 8,000 shoppers there. If you haven't touched those 8,000, you have towns around you. If you haven't touched the towns around you, get a lighting kit, take some awesome pictures, and get online and start selling. There's plenty of ways that you can get that out. Do fundraisers.
I mean, we see a lot of success in our downline with people in small towns. So I definitely think you can be really successful. Typically we see in small towns like that, there's not a lot of options for shopping clothes. So, just keep at it, work hard, hype up the clothes.
That means you only have less people in the phone book, so you can do your 72-hour game plan a whole lot quicker.
And sometimes it's just time for everybody to get used to LuLaRoe in your town. I mean, Frank, you can probably speak to that. Wilson's not 8,000, but it's a smaller town. Took you a little while for the brand to take hold.
Yeah, I mean, it was, we were the first ones in Wilson to start selling. Raleigh was 45 minutes away, and Susan was the next closest consultant when we started. And it was, the first couple of pop-ups, we would go, we'd sell 5 items. We'd go, we'd sell 7 items. And we were excited because it was 7 items, and all that money we had from 7 items was like, whoa, really? I mean, it was good money, even 7 items at that time. And now that with brand recognition, it's exploded. And so we always tell our downline, you're welcome, because it was hard getting started, but it was neat to see the excitement, because nobody ever heard of it, or saw it or touched it or felt it, and so just getting out there and putting it in front of people.
And just consistency. You guys, every Tuesday, Thursday, your open houses were consistent, so it just builds over time. Do you have thoughts or information on the compensation changes? I assume you mean going to sales, based on sales, right?
He said yes on chat.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good change. I think we should be paid on the success of the consultants on our team, and the best way to see that success is through their sales. I mean, my feeling, I think it's going to have some effect on us, but I think we should be prepared for it. The goal for us as leaders should be to teach our teams to sell 175 items a month at least, or more, right? So if we're doing that, then we'll be prepared for the change.
And LuLaRoe will tell you this too: the more you have, the more you'll sell. Elaine went to convention in 2015, and I didn't go with her that first year because we were only in business like 3 months. And so she came back from convention, and we were still actually at the beach in New Jersey. That's where we're from. And we were sitting there on the bed, and and that time you had to buy a certain amount to qualify for cruise. And so we were like, I don't know, $2,000 away from the next level to qualify. And so we were sitting there, and I was like, just order up. Just order up. We're going to sell it all. And once we ordered that, and I think we spent a boatload of money that month of July that year. But when that inventory came and that released into our inventory, our sales went through the roof. It was just unbelievable. So that's so true of the more you have, the more you'll sell.
Okay, I hope I answered your question, Sean. We can touch base offline about that more if you want to talk more about that.
Sure. Let me say this about the compensation. It's teaching you to be a leader. You can tell your girls to call up 2 or 3 days before the month's ending and tell them to order a huge, huge order to make up for those pieces. But you have to encourage your girls throughout the whole month when it comes to sales.
Okay, Mike, is it possible to sit down next? Mark,
oh, is that Marty? Yeah. Yes, Marty. We can touch base about that for sure.
All right. Okay, I think this is a good question. I think it's easy to say be patient when you're not depending on that box arriving to make your sales goal. Yeah. People have onboarded more recently than you guys are really struggling.
Anybody want to touch that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally appreciate that question. I think that all of us who are up here now may be in a better position because we've been where you are. I mean, there have been problems like this. We've gone without tall and curvy leggings for extended amount of time. We've even had issues.
One size over the summer.
Yep.
Yeah. We've had issues where we weren't getting. There was an issue with like ACH. There was too much ACH happening, so payments weren't coming in. We're having to go figure out ways to deal with cash flow issues for a couple weeks.
And also, too, you are the only one who knows what you don't have. Like if you're having a pop-up, especially an in-home pop-up, like I guess I talk from that side of it because that's all we do is in-home. But from the inside, from the in-home pop-up, people don't know what we don't have. They don't know that we're short on this or we're short on that because when they come in, they see clothes, and so they just buy what we have. And that's why I encourage you to to do those in-home pop-ups as well. And if you do it online as well, you got to kind of balance that out, just to keep your inventory fresh and all that as well. But also too, once just ordering regularly as well, because the more you have pop-ups, the more you sell, the more you're going to need to order on a regular basis. And so you don't have to wait just for that one box to come. You can have boxes coming, maybe 1 or 2 times a week because you're selling. So
a little tip too that you guys can do: save your boxes. Your customers don't know. Save your boxes. Flip it over, it's taped again, put a bunch of clothes in it, and do a shop the box. Open the box all over and sell clothes out of the box. They came off your racks, but your customers don't know that. So put them back in the box, open the box back up, and shop the box. They think it's new, it'll sell.
Yeah, and just to be sensitive, Cindy, it is a struggle, right? It is it's not easy. I think you can get through it. And it'll get better, push through it, keep going, do what you can, with what you got. And, all I can say is that you can still be successful, after getting through this. So.
It's just a hiccup right now, Cindy. I promise you. I'm kind of dealing with some issues too with not having, substantial inventory. I've reached out to my sponsor, and to see what they can do. And we've had some stuff loaned to us that we gave back when our box got to us. So keep that in mind. Maybe you could reach out to your sponsor. If it's a tall and curvy issue, something like that, she could loan you some. And when you get yours back in, you could repay her just to kind of keep your inventory.
Yep, I would second that. We've traded, we've borrowed, we've done that kind of thing, and we do the same with our team. These types of things are going to happen. I think one thing that I think about that kind of helps me, I'm the newest guy on the call, and what helps me is sort of believing that it kind of these kind of obstacles are what filter out the people who are sort of just clogging up, the sales for the rest of us and building teams for the rest of us and moving us closer to the top.
Okay, thank you for touching on the positives. But if we look at the big picture, this company always takes care of us. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Thanks, Evan. Laura, yeah, I'm recording this and I will post it on the Suburban YouTube channel, and I can make it available to you guys too if you want to post it somewhere else for your team. Okay, do you sit down with your team to explain to them the business principles for those who are new to small businesses, taxes, LLC, cost to profit ratio, expenses? Actually, Scott, this is probably a weakness of mine, that kind of stuff. Just to be honest with you, we try to teach our team or encourage our team to talk to professionals, get an accountant. And talk to them about those things. I can tell them my experience and what I've chosen to do, but yeah. Anybody else?
It's hard because things can differ in different states too, and you might have an upline in a different state, or you might be in a different situation, personally than them. Yeah, I mean, talking to an accountant is like the best thing we could have done for ourselves, and we should have done it right away, but we didn't do it till the end of 2015. And so it was like, here's all our stuff, and I feel like we missed out on some deductions and whatnot because we didn't have all our stuff together early on. But yeah, I mean, don't be I know one of the things they talk about too, that I've heard at some of the Inspires and some of the trainings and whatnot is, don't be afraid to outsource some of those things that aren't maybe your strengths, or that you don't excel at. And, for us, like, the end of the year tax and accounting and whatnot is not either of our strong suits. So we give it to somebody else and they do it for us. So that's nice.
Yep.
At the same time, I think there are some, we have a weekly Zoom call with our team. There are some practical things that we do discuss. The ones that were in that particular question aren't ones that we've discussed, but there was a question earlier about sort of managing inventory and buying inventory, and how to analyze those kinds of things and where sweet spots are, and what's the approach. We do discuss those kinds of things on a weekly call with our team, sort of the flavor of the day, and then also some additional sort of learning that we're trying to put together for ourselves and then pass that along to our team.
Yeah, and Scott, if those are things that you're skilled at, I think it is great, to talk to your team about that. Yeah. Okay, I think John Tim, you're talking about when the compensation plan changes to sales. I don't think we know that. I think the details of hashing out the new structure of how the compensation is going to work is not solid yet. I mean, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. Travis.
Say thanks, Julie.
Yeah. Okay, my wife and I cruise qualified, our 4th month being November, and with the cruise scheduled for February, we arranged our schedule. Yeah, I totally understand that, the frustration with that. Yeah, and I'm sorry about that. We actually don't have any details on what they're going to do for the next cruise or anything like that. So yeah.
You'll still get your cruise. Don't worry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And they're going to make, I think, knowing LuLaRoe, the second one, if they had a mix-up and they're going to make it right, it's going to be even better. So I wouldn't fret. Just wait for the update and then start preparing from there.
Okay. I think
There's a few questions in the chat.
What is so?
Oh, what kind of lighting kit do you recommend? I don't even know what ours is called. Josh, what kind of?
Yeah, I use one from Amazon, but since this is a guy called, let me show you guys something that's kind of been a game changer for me when it comes to a lighting kit. See this thing? Okay, this is a halogen floodlight. I am amazed. It's battery powered. One light, and I use 2 of these right now. And instead of a lighting kit, I've kind of found I borrow these from my buddy because I broke 2 of my bulbs with a little moving the rack accident. I think I'm going to go and get some Ryobi floodlights, to be honest with you, instead of the lighting kit. But Amazon, one of the very first lighting kits that's up there, I think it's like 30 or 40 bucks. You get 3 lights. It comes with the umbrella. 2 of them have umbrellas, and you have a smaller one. They come with the bulbs and everything. That's what I started out with. It's like 30 or 40 bucks. It's phenomenal. You can't miss it. I'll see if I can't find the link and post it underneath of the post.
Yeah, I don't know which Mike and Chris, which ones y'all use, but I don't know if you can see that. We use this Limo Studio one. This is another one that we got on Amazon. It was like, I think 30 or 40 bucks. Got it for a year and a half or whatever. Got the I don't know, diffuser thing on it, and really simple, but it works good for us. So
yeah, I just bought something off Kickstarter for my wife for Christmas called PickBot. I'm pretty excited about that. It has like an automated eye. You can connect your iPhone to it, and it'll follow her around as she's doing live sales or live videos. And she can like take it with her and do all sorts of things. But it's called PickBot, P-I-C-B-O-T. Should start selling online here shortly as well. But I funded it on Kickstarter, so I think we should be getting ours pretty soon.
And guys, since this is a topic that you guys can do, if you can get a tripod and you can get a Bluetooth clicker, your pictures can go really, really, really smoothly and very easily. Since we're talking on the lighting kit, I've got a Bluetooth clicker. I set my phone up in my tripod, and I don't touch my phone. I just hit the button with the Bluetooth clicker, and it takes the pictures. I think I got it for $5 or $6 off of Amazon.
I also love having a helper for pictures. So yeah, I mean, if you have kids, I mean, my kid's hanging it up. I snap the picture, and then she gets the next one on there real quick. So it makes it go a lot faster.
So I've learned something on this call that I need to get my kids a whole lot more involved between Frank and Brooks. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon, my kid's not going to be too happy when she gets off the bus.
Get to work.
Love help. Sometimes they're not a great help, but they love to try.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we're about done. Anybody have any last words?
Just don't get caught in that comparison trap, guys. That's a big thing. Do not your beginning and someone's middle are nowhere related. Just you're gonna see the hashtag around. You're gonna see the shirts around. Be you. Do what you're good at, and just focus on yourself, and you'll really you'll do big things within this company.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I hope that you can just I love watching other people and learning from them. So I can, get new ideas to do things better, but, I don't need to compare myself to these guys. Like, hey, you know what I mean? I got to do me. So
especially in the beard category.
Yeah.
I agree, Chris.
If I could just say one last thing, for me, it's in terms of the comparison trap and that sort of thing. To me, it became, I had to drop that because it's not even about making money or it's about connecting with my wife in my particular case. As corny as that sounds, this is about connecting with her and building something with her and supporting her. And I think, good things are destined to happen for us financially, but that's not what it's about. And I don't want to get caught up in making that about that. I find that when we're connected, we do a lot better financially. And obviously those two things are well connected. So I focus on trying to be supportive of her and motivating of her, and good things follow from that.
And going along with Chris too, you know, for me, I think it's been neat with LuLaRoe because now that we have more funds, we're thinking of ways that we could be a blessing to somebody else. You know, when we see there's a need, when we see there's something we can help, a cause we can help, or someone who's been through the flood, and just being able to, oh yeah, we can go help them, we can go give them this, we can go do this for them, and it's been a blessing. And also just be able to share that with our kids. Because of LuLaRoe, we're able to use that to be able to bless others as well. So some good life lessons.
Yeah, LuLaRoe has really brought me out of my shell. Like, I'm kind of a quiet guy by nature, but something about the people in the company and, great guys like you and other consultants and people I've met and the places I've been and, the things that I've seen, I feel like it really just brings out the best in me, and it really brings out the best in, the relationship that I have with my wife and with my kids and my family and just everything.
Definitely.
All right, guys, man, this was awesome. I really appreciate it. And that's a wrap. I will be recording this. Sorry, she wants to go on one thing.
It's 10:15 Eastern time.
Yeah. This is recorded, and I will be posting it shortly and make sure everybody can see that.
Share it.
So, and I'll share it, yeah.
Thank you, guys. I learned a lot from the four of you, so I appreciate this.
Hey, man, it's nice to hear everybody's story.
Yeah, sure is.
All right, one plug for tomorrow. We have a webinar with an awesome family, Ricky and Carrie Bender.
We drove to meet them.
Yeah, we actually got to meet them on a road trip this summer in Austin. They live in Waco, Texas right now, but they're awesome. They have their coaches. They have a really awesome business. They do great online sales.
They figured out how to build community online.
Yeah. They do a really good job of building community with their customers online. So join that tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern time. All right, guys. Later.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.